having a look at question 14 from the Tech Active paper from 2022 for maths methods. So we've got question 14. Ravi randomly sampled 200 different pet owners in Brisbane and found that 50 celebrate their pet's birthday. Determine an approximate 95% confidence interval for the proportion of Brisbane pet owners who celebrate their pet's birthday. Now, you could go through using the full formula to do that, which I have done in a previous video on this particular question, but I thought I would show how you can do it fairly quickly on your calculator instead. So what you do need, so for the marking scheme from QCAA, you do have to identify the information needed. So you need to have your n equals 200. You need to say that the z-score would be 1.96. We don't need to do that when we're putting it in our calculator. However, there's a mark allocated for identifying those pieces of information. So to make sure you get the full 2 marks, you do need to include that. They also want to know that your p hat is equal to 0.25, which is your 50 divided by 200. Now, when you put it in the calculator, you don't actually need all of those steps if you've got your TI-84 plus CE, because you can use the stat, go across to tests and arrow up to one, so to the A here, the one prop Z int. So where we can put in then that value of X of 50, we can put in our N of 200, our confidence level of 0.95, and then we can get it to calculate that and we get our confidence interval. And see how it does give us that P hat there of 0.25 that we were looking for in the marking scheme as well. But our confidence interval then is between 0.18999. You'll notice if you look at the marking scheme, they do round that to 0.19 and 0.31001, which they have rounded to 0.31 in the QCAA solutions. For the second part of the question, you're then looking at 2 of Ravi's friends have also sampled Brisbane pet owners, and the results are shown in the table. So they've done a sample of 100 and 150, and that's being added to the 200. So you've got a total of 450 people, and so that means your N is 450. And you also have those numbers, so the 34, 26, and the 50 that you are then going to put together. So the 24, 36, and 50 gives you 110 over 450, which you can reduce to 11 over 45 for that sample proportion, because you do need to be able to determine those when you do your solution. So there's a mark allocated to that, and then you can use your calculator again using that same one that we used previously, so that A, the one prop Z int, and this time our X is going to be that 110, our sample is the 450, and our confidence interval is 95% again, and so we get the 0.20474 and 0.28415. You'll notice if you're looking at the work solutions, they round that to 0.2047 and the 0.2842. So they've rounded to 4 decimal places there, they're rounded to 2 there. Please be aware this rounding is not something that you will be penalised for.